This video is brought to you by the FARMER-KLEIN YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at the construction map. But before that, this video is brought to you by Earl Watt. Thank you for being a farm baron. So the construction map can be found over the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. I have to say this map is No Man's Land-esque in that it is mostly just flat, barren terrain. Maybe it's a little more flat than No Man's Land and a little bit more barren than No Man's Land outside of the developed area, but you kind of get my point. The description says, welcome to the construction map. Here you can let your imagination run wild and design the map according to your preferences. This map includes 2 selling stations, 3 factories, a cattle dealer, shop, 6 fields, 28 purchasable areas, a farm with buildings and machines, and all standard functions. Now, I will say that if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, the farm will physically look exactly the same as you see it here in New Farmer mode, with the exception you do not have any machinery. But all of the buildings are still here in all play modes. So let's go ahead and take a look at the map itself. And you're going to see that the PDA is, well, pretty straightforward and pretty stripped down. We have 6 defined fields. And then we have the rest is just flat grassland. Take a look at the lands area. You'll see we start out by owning the main farm, which has a space of an area is not defined. The field 5 has an area of 6.83 acres. There we go. The main farm has an area of 7.11 acres. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that popped up when I was looking at this map earlier. At any rate, field 1 is $222,000, 9.16 acres. Field 3 is $107,000, 4.41 acres. And let's take a look at some of these other big plots. We've got a 91 acre square down here for $2.2 million. 73 acre square for $1.7 million. Around the main farm, we have a large square here, 55 acres, $1.3 million. Just south of the animal dealer, we have a 10 acre area for $253,000. We can buy the animal area and the area around it for $858,000. And then we have the other sell points over here, 4.77 acres, $116,000. So you kind of get the gist. We've got lots of squares of land that we can buy and make use of, however we should so wish. We have predefined fields that we can buy, should we so wish. And then our production areas down here, we could buy this area for $348,000. Now we do have all of our crop types available to us here on Farm Sim 22. And let's go ahead and kind of just take a look at the crop calendar. We have the generic crop calendar here on this map. Nothing custom, nothing special there. So we will know what to expect with respect to if we are playing with the seasonal cycles enabled. And let's take a look at our prices screen and see how well this map covers all of the available base crops, animal outputs, and base game production as far as being able to sell. You see, we do have the ability to sell wheat, barley, oats, canola, sorghum, grapes, olives, but things start falling apart when we get down here to soybeans. Do not plant soybeans on this map because there is no way of selling these soybeans. Corn is good, potatoes is good. Put a stopper on anything that is sugar related. Sugar beet, no. Cut sugar beet, no. Sugar cane, no. Cotton, not going to happen. Eggs, wool, and milk is good. Eggs, wool, and milk is good. We move on to wood chips. We do not have any way of selling silage, hay, straw, or grass. That's somewhat okay. We can always put down a biogas plant because there isn't a biogas plant included. But we also, ironically enough, we have no way of buying bulk gas. So there is no fuel depot on the map. There's no gas station, no way of buying bulk fuel on the map. You will need to put down a fuel storage tank that is included with the game and either buy fuel in or get a placeable fuel pump and put that down with respect to refueling your vehicles. We also don't have the ability to sell fabric, clothing, cereal, chocolate, planks, furniture, and we are missing a bulk lime buy point, which is less of a deal because we can always buy the lime pallets, but we also are missing a way of crushing the stones that are inevitably going to come up to the surface when we are plowing up and creating new fields. So with respect to, can this map include all sell points and base game production and animal outputs as far as being able to sell those items? That is a big no, and this map is going to get a half of a point on that particular scoring criteria. You see that we start out with a decent list of starting equipment. It is all new. None of it is leased. And we do have, contracts available on the map. We do not start with any animals or animal pens. And we do have 3 production facilities on the map, but we do not own them at the start. So the 3 production facilities include an oil mill, grain mill, and a bakery. We will be taking a look at those here in a moment. But first, let's do a little bit of a farm tour. So we have our farmhouse with our sleep trigger located right there. We can indeed sell everything you see here on the farm. So is the farm or are the farms customizable? Yes, they are. While all of these buildings are pre-placed at the start, they can all be sold should we so wish. Now be very careful that there is a dip right here, and it's all gravel, so it kind of gets blurred in. But there is a dip here to go down to the lower level of this particular barn. On the scoring criteria are the buildings where appropriate using the new texture technique and ground textures. Yes, this map is indeed, on the few buildings that do exist, this map is using the newer style buildings from the various base maps. So that is indeed going to get a full point. Here we have our silo. So we have our dump and fill pipe right there. We do have a water trigger. And then we have a large contractor building where we're going to find the rest of our machinery. And speaking of that machinery, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting equipment. We start out with the Fendt Favart 511C, the John Deere 4755, and the Massey Ferguson 3670. We have the Topliner 4090H harvester that is paired up with the 4090H grain header. We have the Welger DK115 trailer, the 1986 branded pickup truck. We have the Rabe EG39 cultivator. We have the HK25NS3030 Nordstein seeder. We have a header trailer for our grain header, and we have a weight. So that is all of our starting equipment. And with that, we are pretty much done the farm tour. And what we're going to do now is kind of get set up for a fly around. We're going to fly around to the 3 areas of the map really that exist, and that is the production and the 2 sell points. And then we're just going to, I guess, pretty much wrap up because there isn't a whole lot to see, and there really isn't much of a need to drive to these areas once we have seen them from above. Let's go ahead and pull up the PDA so you see kind of where we are looking. Right now we are looking straight off to the east, and way off in the distance there are 2 of the sell points. To the south we have the 3 production points, and then to the west we have the animal dealer and another sell point. Now, one thing from an aesthetics view, I would like to have seen some roads drawn in. We've got the beginning of a road here going into the shed, but I would like to have just seen, even, we don't they don't need to be placed. They can just be drawn in. They can just be dirt roads, gravel roads, the asphalt, paint texture roads, whatever. But I'd like to have seen them drawn in. Right now, the player's going to have to kind of make their own roads, which is fine. But I would like to have seen these just connected at the very start, just to say the least. Over here, we have the animal dealer and the fast food restaurant sell point. So here we have the animal dealer trigger. And then we have our fast food restaurant dump station right there. Now, if you look to the south, to the east, to the north, everything else is absolutely flat and absolutely grassland. There are no trees really anywhere outside of this very small center area of the map. And the center area is even flat. So the whole map is basically flat, which is going to allow you to do anything you want to do with respect to placing buildings without really having to worry too terrible much about the the land going askew when you put it down. So here we have the, what is this? This is the oil mill. So we have our interactive trigger there at the side. We have our dump station and our pallet spawn point right there. We have our flour mill. So we have our dump station, interactive icon, and pallet spawn point. And then we have the bakery. And we have our interactive icon. We have our dump station, and then we have the pallet spawn point around back. Now, oddly enough, we are not seeing the trigger markers here. It would be nice to see the trigger markers there. We do see them over here on this particular facility, and we only saw 2 of them over here on this facility. So I have to say, we might have to knock off a little bit with respect to trigger, player, and interactive areas clearly marked, because at least with the bakery and the oil mill, we were missing some of those crosshair indicators showing us where the pallets are going to spawn, or defining the full area of the of the pallet spawn point. Let's go ahead and quickly fly over here to this other area. And you can see from the distance, we have what looks like the start of a road being painted in. But it would, as I said, have been nice to have seen the sell point connected to the industrial point, connected to the animal dealer, connected back to the farm. Just kind of have a loop road around all of those. The player can carve them up and basically recreate the land however they want. And over here we have our vehicle shop. A very large spawn point for any size machinery that we may want to purchase. We have our customized repair, trade, and sell trigger located right there. And then we have our second sell point in the farmer's market located right here. And overall, guys, that is it. That is the construction map. So let's talk about our pointing, our point metrics, and our scoring criteria for the map. Does the map have built-in production and areas set aside for the placement of such? Yes, it has 3 built-in production in the oil mill, the grain mill, and the bakery. And really overall, as you can see, the entire map has really been set aside to do whatever you want. So we're going to give this a full point on that particular item. Does the map include sell points for all included crops, base game, production, and animal outputs? That's a big fat no, it does not. So we are missing, as I said, the ability to sell soybeans, sugar beet, cut beets, cotton, sugarcane, silage, hay, straw, grass, fabric, clothing, cereal, chocolates, planks, furniture, and stone. The map does not have a fuel depot to buy fuel, so you will need to place your own fuel tank and basically buy fuel directly there, or place a fuel pump down. The map also does not include a bulk line point, so we're going to give this map a half of a point with respect to that factor. Can the farms be customized? Yes. Everything on this farm can be sold. And if you start in Farm Manager or start from scratch, you do not start with any starting machinery. So this map will get a full point for that regard. Buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique. Yes, because they are all brand new buildings from Farm Sim 22. So we get a full point on that regard. And our player interactive and areas clearly marked. I'm going to have to take a quarter of a point down on that one because they are not clearly marked over here at the oil mill and at the bakery. So that's going to get a 0.75. So overall, this map is going to score 4.25 out of 5. If the map had included the ability to sell all the base game products, crops, and animal outputs, then I'd have to say that this map would probably score a whole lot closer to a 5.0. But right now, it's going to be a 4.25 out of 5. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the construction map? It is a bit No Man's Land-esque, maybe a bit more flatter, a bit less trees, right? So if you don't like trees, well, good for you. You've got plenty of area to build out as big a fields or as small a field and as many fields as you should so wish. And until next time, happy farming.